Hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast where we explore the early life and education of Dr. Graves and the intriguing world of human genetics through the lens of Dr. Graves' groundbreaking research. I'm Gabriela, and joining me today is Francisco, a fellow biologist who has delved into Dr. Graves' papers to uncover insights into race, genetics, and academia. Now, we got to learn Dr. Graves, kind of like on a, I guess, personal level, through his early life and education. So, Dr. Joseph Graves was born in Westfield, New Jersey, and his journey began in biology, at Oberlin College, where he did graduate in 1977, and his academic path took a groundbreaking turn when he became the first African American to earn a PhD in environmental, evolutionary, and systematic biology from Wayne State University.
Hi everyone, I'm Francisco, and some postdoctoral work and early career information on Dr. James is that after completing his PhD, Dr. Graves undertook postdoctoral work at UC Irvine under the guidance of Dr. Michael Rose. His career then saw him holding various prestigious positions, including being an assistant professor at UC Irvine and later as a professor at Arizona State University West.
And then, we first got to kind of learn about his research through his study of nanoparticles, and we actually got to learn that nanoparticles are these really small particles that are usually like 100 nanometers in size, and they're usually engineered or naturally occurring, and they do have chemical properties and physical properties because of their small size. And they are used in a lot of fields such as electronics, cosmetics, environmental protection, medicine, because of the enhanced reactivity, strength, and other characteristics that are beneficial at the nanoscale.
And yeah, just to add on to that, nanomaterials' ability to interact with subcellular substructures and trigger inflammatory responses raises concerns about chronic inflammation and its link to complex diseases like atherosclerosis and cancer. Surprisingly, few studies have explored the impact of nanomaterials on reproductive fitness, despite evidence of their interaction with the spindle apparatus of dividing cells.
And we also got to see that there was actually a lot of environmental concerns regarding the nanoparticles, and that's due to the there being a lot of like rapid expansion for the manufacturing. So that causes, a lot of increased amounts of nanomaterials that are being entered into waste streams and overall the environment. Um, he did mention something around being able to address this environmental concern by having studies on nanosafety, which should include stuff like intergenerational and age-associated effects of nano exposure across a lot of across various taxa. And in order to do so, it would be great if, a model organism with rapid generation times and well-known genetics was used.
And the field of nano safety is constantly evolving, and it is crucial to understand the potential risk associated with nanomaterials, considering the fact that we humans use a lot of nanomaterials on our products,
Mhm.
as well by studying the impact of nanomaterials on health and the environment, we can ensure the safe development and applications of nanotechnology for the benefit of all.
Yeah, and then Dr. Gray's research did focus on a lot of the genomic foundations of adaptation in Drosophila laboratory populations, which did span almost, I think, nearly 40 years of evolutionary study. One surprising finding is that there was a high degree of evolutionary parallelism observed in the fitness phenotypes and the genomic features across the population subjected to different selection regimes.
And then studies also show that contrasting genomic patterns between asexual and sexual populations during initial adaptation Asexual populations exhibit sequential selective sweeps of new mutations, while sexual populations rely on moderate changes in allele frequencies of standing genetic variation.
When reading about Dr. Graves' experimental evolution, some of the insights that we got from it was that Dr. Graves' study highlights to use excuse me, Dr. Graves' study highlights the use of genome-wide sequencing to understand the genetic reinforcements of adaptation, which revealed rapid and extensive evolutionary genetic changes in sexual populations. And he also emphasized the importance of studying intergenerational and age-associated effects of nanoexposure across broad taxa to ensure nanosafety.
And the findings from Dr. Gray's research provide valuable insights into the mechanisms underlying adaptation in sexual population and contribute to the broader understanding of evolutionary biology. By studying the genomic foundations of adaptations, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complex processes that drive evolutionary changes.
And something that we gain from, or yeah, something we gained from the importance of evolutionary biology was that it is crucial for us to understand human genetic variation concepts like genetic variation, natural selection, and adaptation, um, as discussed in Dr. Graves' papers. They provide a framework for comprehending the complexities of human genetics. And then something that was really interesting that kind of, um, from the previous readings that we had seen was that he then kind of talked about racism, which was really interesting to us. So he brought up colorblind racism, which is an ideology that suggests racism is no longer a significant factor in determining the life chances of individuals of non-European descent. Um, this ideology often attributes a social subordination to non-racial factors, which overlook the ongoing institutional and individual racism that's in society.
And yeah, and Dr. Graves' work emphasizes that biological races do not exist within the human species. And during his papers that we read, he gives various examples, not just like say, but shows the studies that are made and the results of the studies that further like emphasize that there actually is no biological race.
Hmm.
They don't exist. But despite this, socially defined races have real biological consequences, impacting the mental and physical well-being of individuals, as well as their bringing social inequality to different minority groups, and it has many more impacts, like as well as healthcare who receives, who doesn't, as Dr. Greaves mentions in his papers.
Yeah, and to provide an example of what Francisco said is that um for example, the United States and Brazil demonstrate that contrasting approaches to racial identity highlight the social construction of race. And the concept of race has evolved over time, and it's actually been influenced by historical, social, and cultural forces.
And Western thinking about race originated from creationist beliefs leading to the hierarchical categorization of human varieties. However, with the advent of evolutionary theory, particularly Darwin's work, the understanding of race began to shift.
Yeah, and then I also did see that Dr. Graves challenges the notion of race as a biological concept. He highlights that its social construction and the impact of such perceptions on medical decisions. For instance, there was a case where the doctor refused to diagnose a black patient who had a scleroderma, and Dr. Graves underscores the dangers of relying on race-based assumptions in healthcare.
The important thing is in Dr. Green's work, he sheds light on health disparities and the role of evolutionary medicine in addressing them. Dr. Graves' research teaches us that race is not a biological determinant of health, but rather a social construct with profound implications that essentially just affect everyone. It has an impact on
Mhm.
everyone, on all people, like all humans.
Yeah, definitely. Well, today we did delve into the fascinating world of biology and social issues through the lens of Dr. Graves' insightful papers. We explored the topics ranging from genomic foundations of adaptation and sexual populations to the impact of colorblind racism on society.
It's clear that these discussions are not just academic, they have real world implications. Understanding the complexity of biological races, the effect of, of nanomaterials on health, and the dynamics of evolutionary genetics can help us navigate the world with a more informed perspective. And it just further shows how important biology is, and especially evolutionary biology, as
Hmm.
like it's not just there like for history. We are able to like use it to this day
Yeah.
to not and it's not just for race. We can use it for, I guess, another example would be food.
Hmm.
And yeah, so there's many other more examples you can use, like viruses, bacteria,
Yeah.
medicine. So
Yeah.
it just that we are using this, and like it is useful for us present present day.
Yeah, definitely. And as biologists and students, we do have the responsibility to continue to learn and share this type of knowledge. And while we hope today's podcast has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to explore these topics further.
Thank you for joining us, me and Gabriela, and remember the journey of discovery never ends. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more fascinating discussions on biology and beyond. This is a goodbye for now. Hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.